Hello and welcome to episode 181 of the Cutie Art Crusaders for February 2nd, 2016. I guess I'm the host this week. I'm Atmospark.
Hey.
And I'm joined by...
Burno1, the special guest coordinator, and this week the editor.
I'm FlutterGuy317. I'm the media manager.
And I'm Atmospark again. I also do the questions and DeviantArt, which I need to go and do. It's been like 3 weeks since I've been here, guys. I'm trying to catch up to it again.
Yeah, we ran out of premium on our DeviantArt, so it's kind of not that great right
So,
now.
so did I. So I need to go through and rejig it all.
Yeah.
It's
I'll make it pretty again, I promise.
So you're like Gus from Rooster Teeth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I was going to make that comment too. I'm Atmospark, and I'm Atmospark.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm Atmospark.
The best.
Nice.
So it's been, like I said, 3 weeks since I've been here. We had no show last week due to scheduling conflicts. Sorry about that. Won't happen again, maybe.
Yeah. It kind of flew out the roof because like I was busy. Because like I've actually been moving this past week, and through all the busyness of me moving, I kind of just forgot that the episode was happening, because we moved it to Saturday because like scheduling conflicts made it so we couldn't do it on Friday, and so it just doing too much stuff.
And then I had some stuff going on, and Ted had some stuff going on.
Yeah.
Too much stuff.
Too much
stuff.
Speaking of stuff, Max is not here with us this week because he's had so much stuff going on.
Yeah, he's too stuffed.
He's too stuffed.
He's righteously stuffed out.
Righteously stuffed out. That's like the most 80s expression I've heard.
Ugh.
That's right. He's too jived.
Burn doesn't even know what the 80s means. He didn't know what the 80s was.
I wasn't even born then.
Nope. Yeah, he's been under a lot of stress lately, so he's taking the week off. So, yeah.
What else we got here? Burns move. I didn't even know he'd moved.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did I like not say to anybody?
You told us, I guess.
Was I not
at some
here?
point. I don't know.
Oh, you might have not just been on the show when I told quote unquote everyone. But yeah, I moved into a house with 2 friends of mine. And so now, instead of living with my parents, I'm living with 2 roommates. And it's sweet. Independence is a hell of a thing.
Yay.
So good stuff. And so now I'm recording in my new room, and I'm very pleased. Everything.
And now you can hang up pony artwork all over the place. Oh wait, you already did that.
Yeah, right. I have like 2 giant boxes just full of like framed pony artwork. I just don't have enough space for it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And Gloibins.
Yep.
What are your parents going to do with that huge bedroom you had?
My mom's probably going to turn it into like a quilt room. Just
Wait, wasn't like the other bedroom there like a quilt room before?
It was at one point, and turned it into a guest room, and then it was like a guest room / a place for my mother to put her fabric room. And so now it's going to be the fabric / guest room, and then she's actually going to have like a nice quilt room where she can do her fun stuff in her retirement.
See, I like the name like guest / quilt room because you can shorten it to guilt room.
The guilt room. Shame.
So if you stay there, like, you kind of feel guilty all the time.
Yeah, that'd be really funny. Just a bunch of stuffed animals around you, just looking at you like, man, you know what you did.
Yeah.
Sounds like horrible room.
It's like Five Nights at Freddy, but like, not scary, like just, demeaning.
I still don't know what that is.
Demeaning?
No, Five Nights at Freddy's.
Five Nights at Freddy's. Oh, it's just...
I have no desire to know.
Yeah, I mean, it's not my thing, and I don't like the art style, but all you have to know is that it's an indie horror game that's
it's sweeping
unique
the nation
in how it operates.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's definitely unique in like how it is made and like how you play the game, because there hasn't been kind of games like it before, and so it's kind of an interesting like thriller horror aspect, but like the art in which they choose to do it in, with that kind of like weird, Chuck E. Cheese-esque animatronic whatever stuff, I just like strongly.
Also, we don't have that here, so I don't know what that is either.
Oh, Chuck E. Cheese?
Yeah.
Yeah, you consider yourself lucky.
I don't know what the Australian version of Chuck E. Cheese is.
So let's see. I've been super busy at work. That's something.
I haven't been.
Yeah. But fortunately, like I was working on a huge project and pushed it today, or like not today, but yesterday, and so I can finally relax a little bit. Yay! Yeah.
So wait, what do you mean you pushed it? You didn't push it away. You uploaded it to GitHub, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I pushed it. I pushed it into our master branch on GitHub, and then
Just for those who may not know programming terminology.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it's a massive new project at work because I haven't heard pretty much anything at all what you even do at your new job. Because before we basically knew like Ted was the laser man, like you did like vector programming and like programming for laser work and like high powered laser machines. So you were like,
and we've got some stuff
Bill
that you
Nye,
cut out
the
on those
laser guy,
machines.
basically.
Yeah.
And like now I just don't even know what you do.
Yeah, I guess I've never told you guys. So the company that I work for specializes in online video like hosting and content delivery. So like companies will purchase packages from us, like hosting packages, to have their videos on their websites. So like Home Depot has a whole bunch of training videos that goes through us. AccuWeather, all of their videos go through us, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of like really big names.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And
so like,
go ahead.
So the product that I'm working on is like it's kind of like a WordPress thing, but for video galleries.
Okay.
So like, companies will buy the product and they can very easily set up like their own like video portal kind of thing like on their website.
So it makes up setting like up videos and things for your company to use easy, and you don't have to be like a webmaster to try to figure it out, essentially.
Yeah. So companies don't have to like pay developers to create their website. They can just buy the package from us and like set it up in like a day.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I work on that product, and I was working on a project like within that product, and yeah, it was like it involved a lot of the base code, like changing a lot of stuff. So,
but now you've like troubleshot it and uploaded it and all that good stuff, and you're just kind of like easing the breeze now.
Yep.
All right, sweet.
Yeah, thankfully. Yeah, it was like well, because like when I joined, the company like has a very laid back kind of culture, and so it's like you kind of have to be very proactive with what you take on, and so I started like pulling in like small tasks and stuff, and then all of a sudden like I get handed this big task, and it's like, okay, I've only been here for a month, but I'll take on something that changes everything.
Oh God.
Yeah,
it's funny.
So it was fun.
I know you're just starting, but we need all this on our desk by Monday.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Well, congrats.
So that's what I do. So like if you go to Home Depot, you're probably hitting our servers.
I'm gonna go DDoS Home Depot now.
No. Yeah.
So that's Burn moving, Ted working, and me. I'm back. Hi guys.
Yay.
That's the only thing happening here.
That's the talking points. Welcome back. Good to have you.
Hi.
Yeah. It's nice to have you.
Thanks.
Tell us, how is your life?
Eh?
A resounding shrug from Joel.
Yeah, that's about right.
All right. Good to hear.
And how is the bay?
What bay?
Moving on.
I'm so
I didn't
confused
get
right
that
now.
joke at all.
Oh no, I get it. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
All
is well.
Good. Yay.
Took me a sec. I was like, B-A-Y. B-A-Y doesn't... What? Okay. Anyway, I'm going to move on to the art now because
okay,
we need to. I am first because I am host and I have host privileges. It's called Straight
Check
Into
your
the
host
Fire
privileges.
by Guillaume Forever.
Guillaume. Is that a Pokemon, Joel? Can you answer me this?
No, it's almost a Pokemon.
Umbreon is a Pokemon, correct?
Yes. One of my favorites.
Okay.
Is that why you chose this piece?
No, I chose this piece because it looks cool and it's a wallpaper that I have.
Nice.
I
Is
had
it
to
like set up
make
for
it- make
two
it
monitors?
Yes. I had to make it
That's
slightly
pretty
bigger,
awesome.
but whatever. Anyway, it's Celestia on the left, looking to the right, and her hair is fire. And it looks cool. I just chose it because it looks cool.
Yeah, I like the colors used in the fire.
Yeah.
It's all very, like, hot and warm.
Spicy.
And warm and hot.
No, the hair looks like it was fun to make.
Yeah. It looks like it's just, like, a whole bunch of strokes, like, semi-transparent, like...
You just go crazy town with the digital brushes.
Yeah, it looks like the artist had fun making this one.
Yeah. Like, I like the kind of the distinct style difference between the hair and the pony.
Yeah.
It, like, I don't know, it's kind of like the show in a way, because Celestia's hair is, like, ethereal in the show. And her body is not.
That's fair.
And in here, it's like, it's plasma, so it's probably burning her. But
but it's not rainbow.
Yeah.
It's not rainbow plasma.
What was the noise?
Joke. Oh, I just got that. Wow.
Kill me.
No, I like the piece. I think it's very pretty. I could look at this for longer than 10 minutes.
Me too, which is why it's a wallpaper of mine. It's in my wallpaper rotation.
9.5.
Yeah, 9.5.
Yeah.
Really?
Not wallpaper quality, but definitely podcast quality.
It's
But, I mean, I'm narcissistic. All my wallpapers are me, so
This is true.
I've only got like 2 of them that are mine.
technically a lot of them have you guys. But anyway, go ahead.
Fair enough. The hair itself gives off light. You can see like it's being reflected, or not reflected. It's shining onto her face
Yeah.
and making these bright yellow shadows.
Yeah.
Or like not shadows, I guess. Reflections.
Reflections off her fur, yeah, and skin.
Yeah, and there's like the haze around the outside and some parts of where it's like hair goes to the black to the space.
Yeah.
You get that haze of the light.
Yeah.
More prominent towards the end of it.
So like the specularly bits.
That's the word. I'm trying to think of the word for it. There's a word for it.
Specular is kind of like the reflections off her face.
Yeah.
And then that glow, I guess is what I would call it. That's like behind her hair. Is that orange that you're talking about? Yeah.
Yeah. Which like, yeah.
Yeah, I gotcha. I feel you.
Yeah.
And then there's also the, I guess I'd call it a noise or cinders, that we've seen that a couple times when we've looked at like fire ponies or particularly like Fire Lestia or whatever she's called. In particular, she
Solar
has
flare.
these, like, yeah, there you go. That she always has little embers in the background, like I think rain gear was like we featured and he had a bunch of those.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I do like the depiction of fire. It's almost like a depiction of the surface of the sun in a way, because like her hair is radiating light and like there's this glow behind it that's like very, I don't know, warm, sun-like. And then there's like solar flares.
The whole thing about this is warm. Everything is so warm.
Like even her eye, like that pink, like it doesn't seem like a cool color. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. I guess you could say the blackness around her. It's kind of a neutral color and tone, but you could say that feels cool in comparison to how like hot and bright the oranges and yellows are. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Speaking of face,
the whole.
You go.
Go on.
You go.
All right. Burns, the whole like warm, cool color thing. Is it mostly like when you're comparing different colors, or like I know there is like a kind of a scale, I guess, like reds and oranges and stuff are warm, but like if you're looking at a piece, like do you like in this piece, for instance, like her mane is like super warm. So then would you consider the background to be cool because it's cooler than her mane?
I mean, that's it's a bit subjective, like it's a bit for interpretation. So like there's some colors that just like are inherently warm or cool because like we associate them with that temperature.
Like blue and yellow.
Yeah, they're like things
Yeah.
we look at in real life, right? So like yellow, orange, red we see in fire, so we associate them as don't touch.
Right.
And hot, and then like ice we see as blue, or sky we see as blue, things we see as associate with cool. And so like colors get our impressions from that, but then past that, when we're looking at art, it's just subjective and just kind of like how it makes like me as an artist looking at this artwork feel. And so like I can look at like her hair, which is bright, like really just kind of burning flames, right? I mean, that's what she's meant to be, is like be solar flare, be like really, really bright fire like hair. And so I'm looking at the picture and like the things around it, and the things that is contrasting that and making it seem so bright is the black in the background. Like if it had a white background, it definitely would not be as impactful, right?
Yeah.
And like if I had a critique, I feel like black isn't the best color to put behind the orange, because there's almost like you're kind of missing a chance to use like a complementary color or some kind of other contrast there. But the fact that its value is so dark makes that fire pop out, you know, like fire in the night sky or fire at night type of deal. And so like usually white through black, so white and grays on the scale, they're kind of a neutral color because we don't really associate temperature with them. White we usually see as cool, usually, depending. Again, it's kind of culturally based. But I was just kind of commenting because like the reason why her hair looks so burning is because there's black there, and so the black is like a juxtaposition. So you could call it cool. Like black isn't inherently cool, but in this picture, like the black recesses and voids around solar flare make it look kind of like a cool color, you know?
Yeah. It's interesting. I was just thinking like the whole like cultural thing, like a lot of flames are like blue and are really hot. Like butane is blue, and like magnesium is white and it's super hot. But like, yeah, I guess most people like see like wood gas burning, and that's what they associate.
When it comes to warm and cool, like I'm sure there's other cultures that have different opinions on certain like aspects of colors when they're looking at art, but I wouldn't know that. But what I do know is when looking at colors, different cultures have different emotions tied to color, and we've talked about this a little bit previously.
Yeah, we have talked about a little bit, yeah.
But the most standout one, I think you know this too, Joel, is that in Japan they don't look at white as we do.
Yeah.
And like we associate the color white with being like very formal or something you wear at a wedding, where in Japanese culture specifically, white is seen as it's associated with death. You wear it to a funeral, and so it's a very somber color, and so there's
like,
just a simple cultural difference there.
Yeah, white in like Japanese culture, white in Western culture is like purity and innocence, and everything is just cool. But it's not that way in Japan.
And so why Celestia is kind of like a very like regal figure, because she looks kind of like what we would associate as the color of kind of like purity, you know. It comes from what is it? The light from the sun, like pure light from the sun is associated like previously has been like associated with God in Western culture. It's kind of the concept of like what the light of God exists like through the sun or whatever. And so the pureness of light is white, and so that has like a holy meaning to it, and then so through that we've derived like purity and like other things, and so we've associated that context with it. But in Japanese culture they did not develop like that with that kind of Christian based mindset around that specific color, so it has a different meaning. But I mean, that's getting really, really into it on one specific color. Point being, we as a Western culture see like oranges as really fiery and blues contrasting them as something you see in like all action movies, because like the colors really contrast with each other, where in other places like they'll see it a bit different, you know?
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
Yeah. Joel, were you going to say something before we got into this?
I was going to point out the face, the way the outlines are done, and the way that that there's a little bit of highlighting and shadow, highlighting and bright lights on the black parts, like the eyelashes and on the lids and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I was going to point out
That's pretty.
and the way the outlines are done, where it's not actually touching like her face.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah. What I find interesting about her face is the like where her mane meets her face. It's almost like her mane is like overlapping her face because you don't see like her scalp like through her semi-translucent mane.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of cut away, which is like interesting. I don't know. It's almost like the mane is hiding her face, but is able to see like through.
It's like layers
entirely.
It's layered.
Yeah.
So it gradually becomes enough that you can see through it back towards her ear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very interesting.
Anyway, I like this one.
Yeah. It is very pretty.
Sweet piece.
Yeah.
It's much better, bigger too. Like it's too long for my one monitor. I have to like stretch my Chrome window open to go to my second monitor.
But it's just a bit too small to be over 2 monitors. So I need to make some modifications to make it a little better.
Fill it with black, yo.
Yeah, it's what I'm gonna do.
Throw some white sparkly bits on it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Cool. Good stuff.
All right. So we're going to move on to the next piece, which is called Vapor Trails by Rain Gear.
I thought I was hosting.
Oh, do you want to introduce
no,
us?
you've really done it.
We can move on to our own art pieces, man. You get to end the show.
Whatever.
Calm down. Getting
You
too hungry
started
with
it.
power.
You ended it. You get to do the questions if you still want to. I mean, like...
Next we know Joel's going to be invading Poland.
But stay away from Russia in the winter. You know.
All right.
History jokes, hey.
Lamau.
So this is a piece of Luna, kind of spiraling down from the moon, and there's another piece in this series by Rain Gear called In the Light. And fun story, I actually brought this one and I hadn't even seen the other one and crossed out this one and put in the Luna one.
I was like, Luna's better. You should feature Luna and put it in the document and put a strike through on the Celestia one.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But in both of these, it's really interesting because it looks like they're almost re-entering the atmosphere because their hooves have this glow of
plasma
air moving. Yeah, plasma moving fast past them, and it's really interesting. Also, I love the motion that's conveyed in this, just the whole spiral plus her wingtip. There's this little bit of light that's kind of going up. I don't know. I really enjoyed this piece and the other one.
Yeah, no, I definitely like them both. But I have a preference towards Luna,
Yeah.
just because I also like the colors in that piece too. I really enjoy the cyans with the dark blues and then the violets, where and then the kind of the darkness around the character around Luna. Where in the other one with Celestia, it's very kind of light. It's Celestia's day colors. It's very pink and green. But they're both really, really well done. Their armor too is both cool and done very uniquely well, kind of stylized again to each character.
Yeah,
I'm looking at both of them at the same time. Hopefully I can fit them on the screen as we're talking about them. But these two would make a good monitor wallpapers as well for dual monitors.
Yeah.
Not quite the right aspect.
He's done it already, I think.
But
he's combined the two of them in the comments.
Oh, look at that! Look at it! That's the one I'm gonna put on the screen.
Nice
for people to see. Yeah, why don't we just feature this one? Two sides of the same coin. Why do we gotta feature both pictures? We could have just featured this one.
Hey. Oh, and look, they kind of mesh too.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Anyhow, yeah, I don't know. I really like you were saying, the armor. The armor is very detailed. I really like the reflective lighting that Rain Gear uses. There's just so much purples reflecting on the bottom of her wing, and these cyans that are. It's almost oh my god, what is it? The whole see-through
Translucent. Specular.
No,
not specular. Refractor. Subsurface
we talked
scattering?
about this with subsurface scattering.
Nailed it.
Nice. It's almost like that, under her wing. Although it could just be reflection, multiple reflections, with the cyan under her wing.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, on Luna, it looks it's more like a reflection from what's coming from her feet, like the bright purple light. But on the other one, on Celestia, it looks like it's fire coming through her wings.
Well, it's interesting because they both look like they're coming into the atmosphere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Celestia also.
Yeah. Because because Celestia is like coming in. It looks like she's like literally breaking through the atmosphere, and like her hooves are on fire, and like her wings are like glowing like a shuttle would. And then Luna has a similar thing, but with like purple magic, but then blue in her hair and wings. And so like their wings are both just kind of glowing with like ethereal magic-y power. And like Celestia has like glowing fiery wings, and then Luna has like blue glowy wings. Because, you know, Luna, blue glowy magic. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
That's her like color scheme, right?
We need the other two princesses, because we have Celestia, Luna, and then we need Cadence and Twilight now coming down from like a spiral like this, and then it will be the Four Horsemen.
Hey, oh my goodness, why have they not like used that?
Because that's what this looks like with them like ascending from the heavens. This like
it does
but
look
like why
life and death.
Why has the show not like done any? Like they have 4 princesses. That's like perfect.
That's the next season. They're just gonna bring the apocalypse.
Speaking of, season 6 has been confirmed.
Yes,
there are
and spoiled.
Spoils, yes. So the apocalypse has arrived.
Sources.
If you've seen the previews, the apocalypse has arrived. It's small and pink.
Yeah.
And that's all we're gonna say.
Says fun a lot.
Yeah. In the Luna piece, I really like. There's so many different light sources. That it's really awesome. Like her bib, the moon on her bib is a light source. The moon on her butt is a light source. Like all of the little plasma streams that are coming from her hooves are sources of light. And then like her entire mane is just like glowing. It's like very pretty.
Luna's hair is better.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at the glowiness of her hair. Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Colors?
Yeah, I think I like the colors better.
I don't know. So I'm all about that blue though. Like look at like the hair that comes off the back of Luna's neck. It's all glowy. Where's Celestia's glowy neck?
Where's Luna's
Do you
glowing
even
wings?
glow, bro?
That's true.
Celestia's glowing wings are much better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I like the fieriness. Like the blue and purple is cool on the wings, but like the blue and purple needs to glow like Celestia's wings.
Yeah.
Rain gear. Make Luna better. Redo. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
I like there's an element of symmetry between the two of them.
Yeah.
Like they're sort of facing, like looking towards each other, but they're not facing each other, and the curls like go similar ways. Like they go into each other and then curl around the moon.
Yeah.
But it's like one of them has been flipped over to the other one. So there is an element of symmetry there, but they're not, because the poses are slightly different, but have elements of symmetry. Like the wings are in a similar position, the bodies are in a similar position, but
it's not perfectly symmetrical.
Off.
Yeah, because if it was perfectly symmetrical, it would be almost off-putting, right? So it's technically sort of asymmetrical, but they have like reflections of symmetry, and so like it's that playing with the level of symmetry versus asymmetry that kind of makes this kind of pretty and unique, and makes it visually interesting to look at. Because if they both just visually mirrored each other exactly the same, and then the colors were changed and like a few bits on them, like the armor, like it would look too ornate. It would look too perfect.
Yeah.
But the fact that they have differences makes it a bit more interesting to look at.
Yeah. I'd really be interested to see like how Rain Gear worked on these. Like if he drew one piece first and then kind of went off of that to like make sure it was symmetrical, or if he like layered one on top of the other and then kind of shifted it up a little bit. I'm not really sure. Like,
you can go ask him.
I could. Yeah, I'm too lazy. Yeah, I don't know. They're just both really good pieces. I like them.
I like the moon spiral more than like the sun spiral, but the moon spiral in particular reminds me of Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yes.
Because like moons and a spiral like kind of over it or near it, like very specifically remind me of the scene with what is it, Pumpkin Jack?
Jack Skellington.
Jack Skellington, like sitting on that reared curly-do hill with the moon in the background. And so like there's visual cultural influences there that make that spiral of hair over the moon remind me of that.
I've never actually seen that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
It's good. You should.
And I keep being told that.
I've definitely only watched it like when I was young.
Yeah. I think I've seen it twice or 3 times. I don't know. I think something too with the moon spiral is that it's a lot more visible than the sun spiral. Because like her mane kind of fades in, which is done intentionally because the sun is a lot brighter than the moon.
Yes.
So it kind of, her mane gets overpowered by it. But it also kind of drowns out some of like the coolness of that spiral.
Yeah. And there's the lens flare coming from the sun as well.
Yeah. Although if you've ever tried to take a photo of the moon, it is surprisingly bright.
It is. You're looking at it and you think you get this awesome photo of this giant moon to see all the craters and stuff, and you look at the photo, it's just a white spot.
Yeah.
It's happened to me more than once.
And if you're trying to like get the moon plus the clouds, you can never do it because your camera doesn't have enough dynamic range.
Stupid camera. Why you know expose, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what else to say about them. They're really pretty.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. Round of applause for rain gear.
Yeah. Ponies are strong. Colors are strong. Light is strong. Clouds strong as usual. It's kind of a rain gear thing.
Yeah.
You should think about combining the two of them.
What?
The 2 pieces.
Oh, yeah. I mean, come on, rain gear.
What do you mean? That's what the 2 sides of the same coin is.
Oh. Okay. Moving on.
Have you not seen this? Wait, were you being serious or actually joking, Joel?
I forgot about it. I had it open and then accidentally closed it and then I forgot.
All right. Sweet.
Wow.
Moving forwards.
Moving on.
All right. So you want to introduce my piece or can I introduce my own?
I guess you can do it.
All right. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Wow.
Thanks,
He's giving you so much power.
All right. So the next piece is mine and it's called 1,000 Years Ago by Girlsay. And it's a picture of Celestia, I believe, holding what is a representative of Twilight's cutie mark. I think.
It looks like it. Yeah.
Element of magic type of deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the elements of harmony.
Oh, okay. There's a narrative going on here that I didn't notice before because I was just looking at the pretty picture. But in the description, it says, "Forgive me, Luna, I had no choice." And the title's 1,000 years ago. So she's holding the element of magic. Get it?
Yeah.
And then she can banish Luna and things are happening. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
She's going to the moon.
There's another part of this piece that's actually called banishment, and that's what's happening. And it's Luna getting banished. She's all crying. Oh, and Celestia's crying here. Oh, this is a dual piece too. Wow, today's the day of dual pieces. But right now we're talking about the Celestia one.
Dual pieces or dual? I can't, like, there's no pronunciation difference.
Dual. So I like this piece for a couple of reasons. One of which is kind of colorful, and then it's very uniquely done in style. Just kind of like the anthropomorphic character that Celestia is drawn as, and then like how sketchy it is. So like between the bright colors, the sketchiness, and then the uniqueness of how Celestia is drawn, I find this artist in particular, Girlsay, to be kind of a standout among a lot of other kind of pony artists out there. And I don't think we featured this artist before, and I like this piece. I think this artist also is kind of like a newish pop up. I'm not quite sure.
I've been watching them for a little bit.
Yeah, let's see. Because the first piece that I saw was this Princess List piece, which was posted in December of last year. So yeah, I think that's about when I found out about this artist was December. So pretty newish along the spectrum of pony artists.
Yeah. I really do like the sketchy style where like the undersketch is still visible, but there's just colors like placed on top of it. It's like, I know we've seen it a few times before in other artists. I can't remember who else does it, but like it's not that common.
And it's a combination of things that I love.
Huh?
It's a combination of things. It's a combination of things that I like. I like sketches. Sketches themselves. I really like sketches, and this one is a colored sketch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I really like seeing kind of how things are made in a way. And so that's why I like this kind of like under sketch still visible kind of thing. Because it's like you can see like what the artist was thinking when they like created this.
It brings a new dynamic to it. Brings kind of like a roughness that when the color kind of fleshes it out more, that like it's like a new level that we can kind of appreciate, because like we like seeing like how the artist came to about like this final piece. And there's just a lot of lines in places that they shouldn't be, so it's just kind of more interesting things to look at again, kind of like in the first piece.
Yeah.
But
and it's stuff that like the artist didn't put in with the colors. Like there's, if you look just next to her horn, there's a star there in the sketch, but there's no color. So if they hadn't left that sketch in, we'd never know that was there.
Yeah.
So there's a whole bunch of stuff like that. Not so much in this one, other than that star that I can see, but on the other one, the banishment one.
There's something that says like 200 or something like that on there too.
Yeah,
like is that 200 or is that just squiggles?
I think it's squiggles that happen to turn out to be 200.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, I definitely see that it looks like 20 there, and then that's just like a loop next to it, but there's definitely like a 2 and a 0 like right there. It's like, why is that there?
But it also, like the pencil lines also add dimension to the hair. Like if you get rid of all those pencil lines, you're not going to get that sort of flow and dimension that you're currently getting out of it. And the wings, it gives a weird definition. I guess what's the word I'm looking for?
I get
texture?
what you're. Yeah, I get what you're on about though. Like a weird definition / kind of texture to it. And like I get where you're trying to go with that, because there's sketched lines out there that gives kind of just like the look and description of like the wings or like her like thigh like area that has like all these excess lines that show like they show roundness, and they also show like certain depth or feathers in other areas, but they're still kind of loose sketched out like unfinished portions of that. And then it just kind of, I don't know, it plays interestingly to how we look at it, I guess.
Also, a lot of her expression is just pencil.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's an interesting mixture in between line art and color, right? Because like it was kind of a slightly fleshed sketch where like the outside line art is probably the strongest, most defined part, still lacking and missing in some areas, but then it's like it's finished with a really well done color work, right? And my favorite bit is the cyan and pink, like in her hair, and how they kind of overlap each other and like show definition around the star. I think that's like one of the sweetest parts of the picture.
What were you saying?
I think. Oh, well, I have so many things to say. Oh God. I think. Well, first off, I think like going back to the whole sketch thing, I think it gives us like this piece of very kind of grungy feel, which I think is like kind of what the artist was intending to portray, because like, you know, the whole 1,000-year like the war, her versus Luna and stuff, and like I think it's very kind of appropriate to go along with the narrative. And then kind of going off of what you were saying, Bern, with the whole like colors, I think it's brilliant how like her mane goes from pink to pink again, and the blue is directly like in line with the star, and it's like the complementary colors. Oh, it's just so good. Yeah.
Is the blue coming from the star? Is it light coming from the star? Because it's also reflected everywhere.
Maybe the star is clashing with her mane and making her mane turn blue.
Maybe.
I don't know.
There's definitely a strong blue light there, though, like reflecting on other portions of her.
Yeah.
Like her horn and ears.
It is true, though. Like, if you look at her mane on her other side of her face, like, there's these blue... I'm going to assume it's reflective lighting. But it's like...
It's
something
also in
that's...
her horn and her ears.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, something that's so, like, powerful to reflect, like, cyan light on magenta hair. Wow.
Oh, there's a few other cute things that this artist has decided to do. One of which is if you look at her hoof, like one of the ones like holding up the floating star, like it has like a, I don't know what you would call that, like, because it's metal, so it's an imprint, I guess, of like another pony, of like a figure there. there's like a figure like on her hoof of like another horse, you know. So like her armor has like another person, or I guess pony, drawn into it. You know, I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Thematical.
Kind of
embossed, I think, is the word you're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can buy that.
Kind of wonder who that would be.
I don't
Starswell.
know. Sir
Probably Starswell, yeah.
Hoofington the Third. Hates me, man.
Yeah.
But this artist definitely isn't afraid to do kind of unique style things, like with hair, with color, and then one of which is like a constant theme throughout a lot of different pieces is where the wings are placed. Normally when we see like pony wings or anther wings, they come out of like the shoulder blades, where this artist likes them to come out of like their back or like spine area. But as you kind of go through the gallery, it kind of varies from like back spine wings to butt wings, where like the wings are just coming out of the butt, like right above the tail. Like that's the spot.
Yeah.
And I like it. I think it's cool because like you always see wings like done a certain way. It's just kind of like accepted as like this is how we're supposed to do it, you know. Or like in the show, they even like with the animation, you know, it gets kind of just up in the air, but it's kind of out of their back section. There's no real like skeleton of a pony where wings come out of. That I don't know. So
Yeah.
back wings, they're cool.
Yeah.
It's a
I
thing.
feel like they're kind of more ornamental wings in this than actual like useful wings. I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like in a lot of different characters, like the wings are there just like kind of to be like an angelic symbol. That's kind of like part of the character rather than like I fly with these, you know?
Yeah, it's like a powerful symbol too, because like it makes you big and like
It's like a form of regalia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a way, kind of, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I like, once again, it's a fantastic piece. The colors are fantastic. The style is fantastic.
It's cool stuff. I mean,
I actually have not been watching this artist, and now I am.
there's so much time. We might as well look at the banishment piece. We've got like what, 18 minutes?
15 minutes of shit.
Yeah,
because we got to end. Oh my.
And we have questions too. Gasp.
Before we move into the question section, do you have anything to say about the banishment piece that I've probably had on the screen just because this piece is so small?
Yeah, I mean, it's in the favorites folder. I wanted to say more about using the pencil sketches to give detail. Like on this,
go for it, man.
it's got more of that as opposed to the Celestia one. If you look at her cutie mark, it's outlined by the pencil sketch, and without that line there, you wouldn't really see a difference between what would be black in the show and what would be blue. It'd be really, really hard to see the difference because there's such similar colors here. And all the detail in the armor, all the swirly parts in her hair, just everything in the background, a bunch of stuff on the chains. The stuff that you wouldn't see without the pencil sketches, and they give it a really, really cool texture that I can't think of any other way you'd get it.
Yeah. Because it gives it a certain type of emotion, like a certain type of feeling in how it's illustrated so sketchily, you know, so kind of messy-wise, where like if this was done very clean cut, it wouldn't seem as kind of chaotic in the scene going on, like her getting banished, right? It would seem more like ornate and proper, you know, like you must go to the moon now versus like they're both crying and screaming. There's all these colors and crazy magic going on and all these chaotic lines, you know. It's much more like an epic sense of like an anime type scene versus something else, you know.
Yeah. I was gonna say like anime. That's like kind of where I've seen similar styles, because it's, you know. Well, anyhow, something that I really like. That is related to the pencil sketches is the whole outlines of these like explosions, like by her horn and by her hooves. They just give it like this, like visceralness, I guess is the word to use. Like it's actually like, you know, exploding out or something.
Yeah, I mean they're because it's so bright, you know, it's kind of contrasting, and also I think they're supposed to be shackles, like she's getting shackled, like her magic is shackled, and then her front hooves, and she's physically getting chained too.
Yeah,
but the chain is breaking.
Scene.
The chain is breaking.
Cool stuff.
Yeah. All right, so we move on to the questions.
Okay, we're going to go in order that they're sitting there in.
For show.
Sure.
For show. All right. So
I mean, you are the host.
I
You
am. I
designate
can do
someone else.
whatever I want,
Yeah.
and I'll decide. No, we're going to do them in order. Okay. So first question: just how many similarities exist between still image and animation? Like, how important are the aspects of still image art to animation and vice versa? I want to go first, because I'm host privileges.
Dude, check your host privilege.
Still images in animations are incredibly important. The best example I can think of is, because I was watching it recently, Lilo and Stitch, right? The full-length Disney animation movie that is hugely popular. Mm-hmm. A lot of the backgrounds, if not all the backgrounds, were hand-done, but the animation was done by computer. So you got this mix of the character being animated and hand-done backgrounds, and the backgrounds look incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure I'm going to be corrected.
No. I am agreeing with you, sir. Like in animation, like when you have like characters, like obviously there's certain things that are important that you do with that animated characters, but them existing is not as strong if they're not existing on a still image. Does that make sense? So for Lilo and Stitch, like their backgrounds are incredibly beautiful and incredibly strong. So when you place these animated characters on them, it makes the piece seem that much better. So like in Disney animation, when you had animated characters, when it wasn't all done digitally, it was still done very similarly. You had animated characters that were placed over like still hand painted backgrounds, and then those characters were animated, and so like, you know, by hand. And so it's still like your characters that you're trying to make seem like create the illusion that they're alive and living or moving. They still have to exist in a plane of space, and that all of that importance is derived from like the still image, right? So that makes it just as important, you know, equally, if not more so. And so when you're actually animating characters, though, and you're looking at like, how do I animate this character, a lot of that still image stuff goes out the window, and like because you're looking at new laws of like how to show something moving, like squash and stretch and like over exaggeration and certain aspects that only look good if it's moving, and if you try to freeze certain animations at specific frames, it looks really bad because there's something going on that's supposed to be done quick. That makes sense. So like if someone's talking or yawning at the apex of their yawn, it's all like squashed out and exaggerated, and then like having characters bounce as well. But when you're looking at like how to draw those characters, there's still aspects from the still image that like follow over, like movement or you know, trying to think a few other things. I can't remember good names, but like movement's kind of one of them. Yeah. Framing as well. Framing is like a very big thing in still image, and when you have an animation, they're usually framed either like by their background or something else. And so we're kind of looking at animation like in like, we could call this like full-fledged, right? Like full-fledged animation, like if you're in like a final product. Because there's a difference between like looking at animation as like something I'm gonna do and like draw a character versus like animation period in like a movie or like My Little Pony, you know, like the backgrounds end up being very important for how the ponies exist. You know, I don't know. That makes sense.
Yeah. I think like there's different like emphasis put on different things in animation than in still images. Like you were saying, like with motion and like emotions and like especially like with mouth movements and stuff, it's like there's certain things that you look at in an animation that kind of make you believe that the character is real. That if you like, again, if you were to freeze frame it, it's like, oh wow, that's like so weird looking. Like even in MLP, like they kind of like skimp on some of the like frames, I guess. Not really skimp, but that's not really the correct word, but it's like they do some weird things so that like characters appear lifelike in motion, like, you know, while they're being animated, but not while they're in a still image.
Yeah. Like when you're looking at characters being animated, a lot of the rules for like still images, or we'll just call like normal traditional art, are kind of thrown out the window, and the rules are completely changed and they're different. And exaggeration becomes extremely important in certain aspects, because if you try to animate something and make it look lifelike when you only have a specific amount of frames, it starts to look unnatural. And so like we just said anime earlier, anime is kind of a good example, where a lot of animes, when you freeze frames, they still look like a really, really strong still image. But when you're doing something like some kind of intense action, that action is usually kind of blown out of proportion in animation, more so than it might be in still image. Yeah. And like there's still exaggeration done in still imagery, but with animation in particular, you can kind of get away with a lot of certain like aspects that like might look really cruddy if you just like take a screenshot, but look really, really good once it goes by whoosh in a flash, and it's only, like 5, 15, 10 frames,
Yeah. There's a really good YouTube channel. And actually, I don't know if he's still a fan of our show, but he was. It's Grant Boudet. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he did a lot of like analysis of MLP scenes. Yeah. And so he like broke down walk cycles and stuff. And he did one where it was painting zip lines. And so MLP uses this quite extensively, like when a character is like moving really fast into a frame. It's usually like Pinkie Pie, and it's just like these painted lines that like are only there for a few frames, and like if you were to pause, it would look so strange, but because of the motion, like they actually look like she, they give her motion, she's zipping out of the frame.
I remember seeing that video.
Yeah, it's like implied movement blur, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so like you can imply movement blur with a still image too, like on a camera, and like something will be blurry and have something trailing behind it. Like you can definitely have that. It's just in animation, you again, since it's there only so quick, you blow it out of proportion. So if you try to freeze the frame there, it would look really odd.
Yeah.
Because like we're used to seeing kind of well done cameras, think of like it as taking a picture with like a really nice DSLR versus like taking a picture of something moving really fast with your cell phone. It's not going to be the same.
Yeah. So. That being said, like, composition, framing, all these other aspects of still images are even present in
like how the scene animation is set up and created, like all of that, like it, it happens in movies, it happens in animation, it happens in cartoons, it happens in all those things. Like in Student of the Night, like the golden ratio, the golden spiral, like that's a rule from still imagery that they use to set up like their scenes in an animation. So there's crossover, and so both are still important when you're looking at a final product, I feel.
One more thing I want to bring up.
Go for it.
Like the difference between like Lilo and Stitch, which was, like I said, hand painted, like everything in the background was that hand done by watercolors, right? It was physical media that was animated against. If you compare that to the most latest Pixar movie, was The Good Dinosaur, which I saw recently at the movies. All the backgrounds by themselves would make absolutely amazing still images. All the backgrounds are so well done, like they're all digital. They're not hand done anymore, but it's all hand digitally done. But every single wallpaper, every single backdrop has been created to, like you said, frame the characters, frame what's going on, and the action. And each individual one, if you took a screenshot of that scene, would make an awesome picture in itself.
Yeah.
So
I just Googled the movie to see what you were talking about, and definitely agree. It's a pretty movie.
I didn't like the movie very much, but it looked amazing.
So, shall we do another question?
Sure, we can do a second one. Next one on the list. No, we'll do the third one on the list. When was the last time a piece of art really blew you away? Something recent that made you go, wow, by Ploosmoo. Ploosmoo.
Rainbow Plasma sent this one in his absence.
He's such a fan. Oh, man.
Yeah, what a good fan. I'll sign your mouse pad, Rainbow Plasma.
Anyway, you guys go first. One of you.
Okay.
I think you had something to do.
I'll go first, yeah.
Can I preface your question, though, with something on this? We were kind of talking before the show where it's like there's a certain concept when you look at something that really has, like, wowed you. It's not so much that you just look at it and you're like, wow, this is impressive. You kind of have a moment of transcendence is kind of the word, where, like, your mind kind of goes like, not so much wow, but like, wow, I have never seen something like this before, and I didn't know that it was possible for me to be impressed this much, or it was even possible to do this in this medium, be it music or art or whatever. And so like kind of having a very existential moment of transcendence where you're like, wow, this exists, is kind of like a good preface it to like this question of like an art piece that really blew you away. You're like, wow, someone could do that with a digital medium, blah, 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 right?
Oh, are we doing digital or
or traditional? It doesn't matter. Traditional probably has wowed some of us more because we're so used to digital, but it doesn't matter. Go ahead.
So I was at the New York Art Museum, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and I found the piece that inspired Cosmic Unicorn's piece that you own now. What is it? Sunrise on the Matterhorn or Sunset on the Matterhorn? And that piece is absolutely fantastic. I think Cosmic Unicorns is better, but there was another piece in the room, and I can't remember the name of it. And I was looking. I know I took a picture of like the little plaque, and I can't find it. But it was in the same room, and it was just like the colors and the lighting and everything just kind of blew me away. It was another kind of like landscape piece.
Do you know if it was the same artist or was it just another American painter?
It was another American painter. Okay. And I can't remember who it was by, and I can't remember what the name of the piece was, but it was like, it was just very, very pretty, very vivid, and it just kind of blew me away. Like I just stood there for like a solid 5 minutes or whatever, just looking at it. So
that's awesome. Was it really big? I take it was like a really huge painting, or
yeah,
that's sweet. The one in particular, like the first one that you saw, the one that Cosmic Unicorn got inspired by, it's Sunrise on the Matterhorn, and it's by one of my favorite landscape painters, Albert Bierstraat. He's one of my favorites now, but like it's funny how I came to appreciate like Albert Bierstraat and like his paintings and like landscape paintings in general, because like I was a fan of Cosmic Unicorn, and I liked her work, and she kind of like helped me as an artist when I was starting, and then she made that painting in particular that she made, and it really blew me away. Like it made me say wow, because like I had a moment where I was like Cosmic Unicorn like as an artist is like really awesome, and I didn't even think it was possible for like brony artists to make something so like beautiful traditionally in acrylic. I don't think there's any other brony artist in particular who has made an acrylic painting that's that extensively, skillfully done, and like
is that acrylic
done.
Or is it oil?
Oil, sorry. In either though, I'll even say that in the medium of traditional paint. And
she does both, and she does both really well.
Yeah, and so her painting blew me away, and then it made me interested in Albert Bierstraat. And then when I was going through the Portland Art Museum, I had the same feeling of like being blown away by a particular painting, and I didn't know the artist at the time, but it was a German American painter from the Hudson River School, who like they do like all the paintings of like the West and like along the Oregon Trail, of like how like the West of America is such a utopia and brought everyone to this coast and stuff like that. And so they created this like, beautiful landscapes. And there was a painting of Mount Hood, which is local here in Oregon, I believe. And it was like, wow, like this is amazing. Blew me away. The colors were amazing. Like the detail was amazing. It was beautiful. And sure enough, it was the same exact artist that inspired Cosmic Unicorn, Albert Bierstraat, and did her painting. And I wish I could see the original that inspired this. But yeah, I own that painting now, and it sitting here next to my room. I freaking love it.
Yeah. I was gonna say like the piece before that piece that like inspired me was the piece that you were talking about. That was your mind blown piece, because we went to that art museum together.
Yeah.
And we saw that piece. So
yeah, I really like that one.
It was very pretty.
How about you, Joel?
I'm trying to think. I can't. It's a bit unconventional. I mentioned it earlier. I think The Good Dinosaur, like the movie, the Pixar movie. I don't really care for the story or the movie or whatever, but if you look at the movie as a piece of art, it's incredible. That it just shows what can be done with digital animation now. It's as far as I'm concerned, the best looking animation I've ever seen. I mean, like I said, I don't care for the story, but it was beautiful. I can't think of any other word for it.
Yeah.
And it just made me go, wow.
There's
Yeah.
I was watching a movie, The Song of the Sea. Have you seen that, Joel?
No.
I would really recommend it to you. I'll send it to you after we're done with the podcast. But that was an animated movie that made me say, wow. The whole thing is done in watercolor.
That's
And
crazy.
I believe it's at least digitally done to look like watercolor, but it's really, 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 really pretty. And it's my favorite animated movie. I'll send it to you after this.
Okay.
Song of the Sea and The Good Dinosaur, 2 recommendations from today on the podcast for things that make us say wow. And yeah, cool.
Yeah. Cool.
How about that outro, Joel?
You want to do that outro? All right. Well, I guess that means I'm going to do the plugs then, right? Is that something that I do now?
I mean, it's up
Let's
to you, unless you want to designate someone else to do
I mean,
the
I'll do
plugs.
it. I mean, it's just been so long since I've done them. I mean,
That's
let
true,
me
yeah.
just get ready and prepare myself, crack my knuckles and my neck.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Visceral.
All right. So we have a few places you can find us. We have Picado.tv/Cutie Art Crusaders, cutieartcrusaders.deviant.com, cutieartcrusaders@gmail.com, youtube.com/Cutie Art Crusaders, cutieartcrusaders.tumblr.com, facebook.com/Cutie Art Crusaders, and at Cutie Art Crusader on Twitter. Yeah, one breath.
Wow. Nice.
Sweet. Sick nasty.
Yeah, helping, writing them down definitely helped.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. I'm constantly impressed by you.
I am too.
Oh, shush.
The fact that I'm still here.
Oh. Wow. I don't know how to interpret that, but okay.
My eyes are up here, Ted. Gosh. Not just some voice for you to ogle at.
Alrighty.
Cool.
So I guess that was the episode, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was sweet. I enjoyed it. I hope it was good for you.
Same.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. I hope that Max is back next week because we
Me
missed
too.
him.
Miss your face.
Yeah.
But you don't see his face.
Oh, no. I actually have it up on the screen.
Do you open it up and he's talking?
Yeah. I open all your guys' faces on the
Yeah.
podcast when you
Sweet.
guys talk.
Does it help?
Are they surrounded by like hearts or
Candles, actually. Digital candles.
digital candles?
Yeah.
Alright. Well,
right.
I'll leave you to our faces then.
Thank you.
And I will say, whether you're on the YouTube or the live stream, we love you all the same.
There it is.
Hey.
I am Atmospark,
My name's Burned.
I'm Flutterguy317.
and thank you for watching.
We'll see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Ah.